Mary had a little lamb.
From the classiest radio station on the air, this is...
Welcome to the Black Rabbit's Curse, where every shadow hides a sinister verse. Hear the airs thick with dread and tales of terror twist in your head into the dark unknown, where fear takes root and chills the bone. Beware, dear traveler, for once you're here, the curse may linger year after year after year. Queen Amanirenas, the shadow huntress, the wind howled through the deserts of Nubia, carrying whispers of the dead in the dark of night. Under a silver moon, Queen Amanirenas rode through the dunes on black war horses, her single eye gleaming like an amber in the dark. She was no ordinary queen. She was a huntress of the unnatural, a warrior who waged war against horrors lurking beyond the veil of the mortal world. It had begun as the Romans took her eye. The wound should have killed her, but the gods had other plans. As she's laying dying, a shrouded figure appeared at her bedside, its voice older than the sand. "You have lost an eye, but I will give you another, one that sees what men were never meant to see." When Amanirenas awoke, her empty socket burned like a dying star. When it came with visions, glimpse into the world beneath the world. She saw spirits lurking in the corners of her palace, their eyeless faces turned towards her. She saw black, slithering things curled in the shadows of the Roman temples, feeding on her fear. She saw, most of all, the reason her people suffered. Rome was not just an empire of men. It was ruled by something older, something that moved within their marble halls, a monstrous face that fed on war, that drank the blood of conquered nations. Amanirenas sharpened her blade and vowed that before she died, she will hunt it down. It began in the ruined temples of Moe. Slave whispers of disappearance. Children went to sleep, woke hollow, their bodies still breathing, but their souls gone, staring at nothing. Amanirenas followed the scent of death through the abandoned streets, her spear humming in her grasp. Then she saw it. A crude creature wore the face of a Roman centurion, but its body was wrong. Too long, its joints bending the wrong way, its mouth split open in a jagged grin as it dragged a screaming child towards the shadows. Amanirenas moved like a panther, her blade slicing through the air. The thing shrieked as it bled black ichor, twisting and writhing, but it was not alone. Shadows peeled away from the walls, revealing more creatures, things that had worn human faces for far too long. Amanirenas grinned. Good. I was hoping for a real fight. She did not fight like a mortal. She fought with fury, with the strength of her ancestors howling in her veins. Her spear found their heart. Her cursed eye burned their illusions away, one by one, they fell. When the dust settled, the child was safe. The last creature laid riding at her feet. It whispered in a dozen stolen voices, "You cannot stop it. Rome is coming." Amanirenas kneeled and whispered back, "Let them come. I am waiting." From that night forward, Amanirenas became more than a queen. She became a legend. She rode at the head of her warriors, not against Roman invaders, but against dark things that traveled in their wake. In the dead of night, she hunted hollow-faced priests who whispered secrets in the emperor's ears. She drove her spear into the chests of things that walked on too many legs, hiding beneath the skins of conquered kings. She burned their unholy temples, shattered their altars. The war between Rome and Nubia was not just fought on battlefields. It was fought in the shadows, where the monsters that fed on conquest lingered. In the center of all stood Amanirenas, her missing eye glowing like a dying star, her blade always thirsty for the blood of the unnatural. Some say she never died, that when the empire fell, she rode into the desert, vanishing into the sands. Some say her name is still whispered among those who hunt the creatures at night. And some say when the world needs her most, Amanirenas will rise again, waiting, watching, hunting.
Sit here.
Queen Amanirenas, the Shadow Huntress.
Remember, the terror doesn't end when the video does. You may try to forget, but the shadows have a way of following. The whispers grow louder each night, don't they? So go ahead, close your eyes, if you dare. But know this, you're not alone. Not anymore. But the Black Rabbit's curse has seen you, and it's waiting. So what happens when the lights go out? If you want to find out, make sure you come back. But next time, will you be ready? Sleep well. Or don't.